What's good, YouTube? TP Locs here, bringing you guys another video. Yes, today we're going to talk about something that is extremely important. Winter is coming. That's right, winter is coming. Some of you guys might not know what that means. Winter as a season usually for me means ashy hands.
Call him ashy there. Well, there's your answer.
Ashy Larry, Marcy Projects, Marcy son, what?
You know, like the little webbing of your fingers, that ashiness. Y'all know about that ashiness. Ashy elbows, ashy Achilles tendon. Usually the wintertime means ashy. In all seriousness, the wintertime just means really, really dry. Quite like the follicles of your skin, your hair oftentimes gets dry as well in the winter. So today, we're gonna give you guys some tips on how to make sure you're protecting your locks the way you need to with winter approaching. If you're interested, stay tuned. Per usual, if you have not already, please subscribe. If you have subscribed, hit the little notification bell on the left. If you wanna stay up to date on all the things that I post, the moment that I post, hit that little notification bell, man. Y'all hitting it, I can tell, because the channel is growing. I love it, you guys. We're very close to hitting 1,000 subscribers. I think we're about at 840 right now. Making great pace for the month. Thank you guys for all your support. Yeah, man. So let's get this video started now. All right. So, I mentioned a little bit earlier, when it comes to the winter time, you guys all know what usually comes with winter. Beanies, jackets, just being cold. For some of you guys, snow comes with winter. But one of the more important things that we have to focus on as people with natural hair is the dryness. A lot of times, you know, people with black and brown skin, we notice in the winter time that our skin and our hands get ashy very quickly. I remember when I was in elementary school, man, that was the quickest way, to get clowned. Somebody was gonna clown you. And it was hard because y'all know, like, these little inside areas here, like the little, what is this called? Like the finger webbing? Like these would be ashy. You know what I'm saying? Your lips would be chapped. It was just a lot, man. You constantly had to walk around with chapstick. You couldn't lick your mouth and wipe it because you would get that little, I want to call it chafing, but you could rub your mouth raw because just trying to keep your mouth moisturized if you didn't have chapstick or Vaseline. It's just a dry season, man. It's just very, very drying. The cold is very, very drying. It's important to know that when your hair, or sorry, with your skin making these changes, your hair is going to be making very similar changes as well as a, you know, reaction to the cold temperature. One of the most important things that you're going to have to do, you guys, is moisturize. Moisturization is going to be one of those things in the winter time that honestly you would want to make sure you do almost on a daily basis. My scalp tends to run dry even when it's not winter time. So usually what I try to do is make sure I hit my scalp every day with a light oil, something maybe like a Jamaican black castor oil, or, you know, something of that line, just to have on my scalp so that when I'm out there, you know, it's not getting dry or flaky, since I know that I'm prone to dandruff already. Some of you guys, maybe it doesn't have to be every day. Maybe it's, you know, once every other day. Maybe it's twice a week. Who knows? But you're gonna wanna make sure with the wintertime approaching, you're gonna wanna make sure that you moisturize that scalp consistently. I don't want to make sure you do that consistently because, again, just like our skin, that scalp is going to get ashy, it's going to get flaky, and, you know, it's just going to be really, really bad. It's going to pretty much increase your likelihood of entering in a situation where your scalp is going to be irritated. Because what do we do when our scalp is itchy, most of us? We either pat or we scratch. Start putting that oil in now and moisturizing your scalp so you can avoid that. You also want to make sure that you're going to moisturize your hair. This is something that you tend to do. Some people don't do it. You know, some people steer away from it. It's extremely important to make sure that you're moisturizing your hair. Reason being, temperatures dropping the way that they're going to be dropping here in a couple months. You're going to go from having temperatures in the 50s, 60s, depending on where you are, 40s even some of you, down to those freezing and below freezing temperatures. Your hair gets access to that or gets exposed to that. You're talking about a lot of drying. You're talking about things that are going to make your hair brittle, and it's just really not healthy for your hair. So the oils and the moisturization that you can introduce to your hair before exposing it to those extreme colds is going to be giving you that protection. Essentially what moisturization is going to do, it's going to make your hair more bendy, more malleable, and it's basically going to take it so it's not in that dry and brittle state. Some of us know when we wash our face and we don't put any moisturization on it, and we like open our mouth really loud, or I'm sorry, really wide, you know, we'll feel our skin cracking. We'll feel that skin cracking. Even some of us will feel the inside of our mouths cracking because it's just dry after washing our face and exposing it to that coolness. In order to prevent that, oftentimes the easiest thing that you can do is just put a little moisturization on it. Same thing applies with our hair. Putting a little moisturization is going to protect it so that while you are out there in those inclement, while you are out there in those, in the what is that word called? The elements. Yes, while you're out there in the elements, your hair is going to be protected. Make sure you moisturize your hair. There's several moisturizers that you can use. You can use some light oils. You know, some people use jojoba, some people use coconut oil as a great protection and natural conditioner. Some people use rose water to moisturize their hair as well. There are several things that you can use. Refer back to my old videos if you need some tips on that, or ask in the comment in this video. But moisturize your hair and your scalp, guys. It's going to be a huge thing that you're going to need to do when preparing for the winter. All right. Second thing that you're going to need to do, and I think this is extremely important. You can see I'm doing it right now. Second thing you're going to need to do is protect your hair. Just like in the wintertime, what happens? You put some lotion on your hands, you go out. How long does it take before your hands are dry again? Maybe like 5 to 10 minutes if you're outside and it's freezing. Same thing applies with your hair. If you're in, especially if you're in one of those areas where you're susceptible to very low temperatures, you want to make sure that you're protecting your hair with some sort of scarf, some sort of covering, because you really don't want your hair exposed to the elements in that way. That's my firm belief. When I walk out in the house every day, I make sure that I have a beanie. Again, the beanie might not be the best material because you are going to be prone to, some lint potentially, or, even tangling depending on what stage of locks that you're in. If you want to get by that, all you got to do is take like a satin cap or a do-rag even that's, satin or made of a smooth material, put it under the beanie and cover it. You want to ensure that you are using materials that are going to be beneficial for your hair. But for me, current space that I am with my locks, I just want to make sure that my hair is covered, it's warm, and that my scalp is covered and warm so that I'm not drying out my scalp primarily. That's my main focus. But it's going to be extremely important that you guys make sure that you're protecting your hair and your scalp. These elements are going to be extremely harmful. Unless you're walking around with a moisturizer that you can put on your hair, every freaking, 4 to 5 hours as you're outside, I would not recommend you guys walking outside when those freezing temperatures without some sort of head covering. Not only just for your hair, but just for your ears or something, man. Please protect your hair. Another thing you're going to want to pay attention to when it comes to wintertime is I would firmly recommend for people that can manage this, I would recommend decreasing the amount of times you wash your hair around the winter season. Some people that have more tenured locks that have, they've had a lot longer, some people avoid washing their hair at all during the winter season. The reason being, there's several reasons for it. Now, when you're washing your hair, you're going out in those freezing temperatures, it's just gonna put you in a higher likelihood of attracting more of that cold weather. When your hair is wet and you're going out in those cold, extra cold elements, you're just introducing almost like a multiplier for the damage that cold is going to do to your hair. It's wet, and now you got cold air. It's just really bad for your hair, you guys. And you want to make sure that you minimize that. If you are somebody that's going to be trying to wash your hair frequently during the winter, you probably want to make sure you do it prior to going to bed so that you have more drying time. I wouldn't recommend washing your hair and then going straight outside during the season, because again, it's just magnifying the damage that cold is going to be doing to your hair. Minimizing the amount of times that you wash your hair is going to give your hair a lot more opportunity to sort of build up those natural oils. You're not going to be stripping it of all the things that it needs, the natural protection that just, naturally your hair and scalp will produce. I think in the wintertime, it's extremely important to make sure that you are keeping keeping your hair as oil and moisturized as possible, and you don't want to wash that stuff out if you can manage. It's also important to understand that with the winter month, oftentimes comes less of that sun, less of those natural health-inducing things that the weather and Mother Nature will naturally produce to positively benefit you. A lot of us deal with, in areas like where I'm at in the Pacific Northwest, we'll deal with not having much sun. That's going to decrease the amount of vitamin D that you have. That's also going to be something that's going to affect your hair. So it's just going to be extremely important to make sure that you're not rinsing out any of those natural oils or nutrients, and that you're also going to be paying attention to things like your diet, making sure that you've got a multivitamin, making sure that you're drinking plenty of water. The winter time is going to be the time to focus extra on those things, because again, the season itself is going to be very, very harsh on the things that your body is naturally trying to do, not only for your skin, but for your hair, your nails, everything. So in the wintertime, you want to pay extra attention to your nutrition and the amount of times that you're washing your hair. Yeah, you guys, that is about it for those tips. You got to make sure that your hair is protected. You got to make sure that your hair is moisturized. That includes your hair and your scalp. You're also going to want to make sure that you minimize the washing that you're doing on your hair, so your hair is going to be increased with that protection. Again, you guys, this is the few simple tips that you can introduce for the winter time months that are coming. I understand this is a very small thing for some of you guys. Some of you guys live in Florida and really don't get a winter. Some of you guys are in a tundra right now and it's only fall. But I hope this helps you guys, because again, the seasons changing does mean that your regimen has to change to some extent. So yes, that has been a video. TP Locs signing out. Thank you guys for all your support. If you guys, again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now. Thank you. We gone.